What's up, guys? In this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do on a day-to-day basis, all right? So I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do, exactly what I eat, and then you guys can actually follow it if you like. This will take out all the unnecessary, fluff. You don't need to worry about variety. You don't have to worry about, am I missing something? This plan here is exactly what I do. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so if you want to get size, you want to get big, the focal point is consistency. It's not about variety, right? You don't have to eat so many different meals or, do a meal plan for 7 days, getting overwhelmed because you have to cook, 7 different meals or a whole bunch of different meals. For me, let's go through what I do on a day-to-day. All right, so this is my full day meal plan, what my typical one day looks like. So I have my breakfast. For my breakfast, I eat 2 eggs, sausage, and toast. It's a normal breakfast. Most people eat that type of breakfast anyways. But before I continue, I forgot one more thing. I have a pre-workout where I actually have creatine and I have my protein shake. And I'll get into what's in my protein shake because I have it written down right here, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. But let's continue with my one day of eating, what it looks like for me. And matter of fact, right now, as I'm recording this video, the next day, or tomorrow, I should say, I'm gonna be eating this stuff. So this is literally what I do. This is not something that I just made up so you guys could, read it and do it. This is exactly what I do and what has actually been working for me. Obviously, you can take this as a, as a guide or a template, and you can kind of modify it and tweak it to your liking. But at least if you follow this, you can eliminate, any ambiguity. You don't have to worry about thinking about what to do, what to eat. If you follow this, it's very simple. You'll get the gains. All right, so like I said, the breakfast, 2 eggs, sausage, toast. And then I would say about an hour after that, I would eat a snack. And I have here snack supplement. So this is what you're stacking the calories on. You're actually adding more calories and you're stacking it through the day. Now, it's very difficult starting out because you're not really hungry. But if you kind of spread it out and pace yourself, you can get those calories in. And that's kind of how I modified it. And as you get accustomed to this layout, you can always tweak things. You can interchange things. And if you notice, I have snack supplements here and I have an option because sometimes I like to change it up where I may take a protein shake, or if I don't feel like drinking the protein shake for whatever reason, I'm like, let me just eat the sandwich instead. You can do that, all right? And then after the snack, another hour, sometimes 2 hours later, depending on, what's going on. Usually I'm at work. So when I'm at work, if things get busy, if I have to do extra errands or things are, happening where I'm like, can't stay exactly on schedule, try your best. We live in a world where nothing is perfect. In a perfect world, you could eat literally hour by hour or, right on time. But the reality is, if you live in a real world, things come and go, and it's very hard to stay exactly on time. But as long as you stay within a window of 1 to 2 hours of you eating, where you're able to stack your calories, you're gonna get the gains. All right, so I would say an hour or 2 later, I would have my lunch. And for my lunch this week, I'm eating chicken thighs, broccoli, and mashed potatoes, all right? In my other video, I mentioned it's very important to have healthy fats, protein, and carbs. Now, if you notice, there isn't really any healthy fats in this lunch per se, but it doesn't mean I'm not getting my healthy fats in for the day, all right? And I'll show you, as you can see here, I do get my healthy fats in. All right, so after my lunch, another hour or 2 pass by, give or take. Then I have my snack supplement again, which is the exact same thing as the previous one. It's the same idea, either the protein shake or the sandwich. So here, if I ended up taking the protein shake, obviously I'm gonna be eating the sandwich, and vice versa. If I ate the sandwich, I'll be taking the protein shake. Now, here's an example of how you can change it up. Like for me, maybe in 1 week or a given week, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of that sandwich. Because, you know, we can't eat the same thing over and over, but I encourage you to eat the same thing over and over for 1 week. This eliminates the chances of you missing your meals, not eating on time, and not really eating consistently, because again, consistency is what matters here. This is what your body needs consistently in order to get that size and that gain, right? And if you stay consistent, you will see how your body adapts. You will see how your body grows. So you will be able to adjust. But if you're not consistent, you don't have real data, or you don't have a real proof of concept of what's going on with your body, and you might not make the best decisions. All right. So having said that, after my snack here, again, when I get home from work, I'll eat my dinner. And this right here, I didn't write it down. I didn't have space, but I would eat, for example, salmon, rice, and avocados. And again, avocados is the healthy fats. All right. So I would eat the avocado here. Now, sometimes, again, here's another example of changing it up. I may not feel like eating an avocado at night, right? I'm like, you know what? I want to eat that avocado for lunch, and I could stick the avocado here. But the important part is I got the avocado in my system. I got the healthy fat in my system. The consistency would be the same things that I'm eating, right? Every hour to 2 hours at a time, you know, starting with your breakfast and then all the snacks in between, lunch and dinner. But you can mix and match, but at least when you're preparing for the week, you don't have to make 5 different meals, right? You just make one meal. For me, I'm eating chicken thigh, broccoli, and mashed potatoes. So I have, for at least the first 3 days, chicken thigh, broccoli, and mashed potatoes. And I'm eating the same thing every single day. Now, like I said, things come up, things change. Let's say after the 3rd day, you're like, I'm not eating that chicken thigh. I'm not eating that broccoli. I'm not eating that mashed potato. It doesn't go down. I don't feel like eating it. This is what you can do. Switch it up where for lunch, eat the peanut butter jelly sandwich and drink the protein shake. Don't eat that. Eat it for dinner, right? And then you're saying, well, what about my dinner? Well, since you have your lunch for dinner, instead, take your protein and your peanut butter jelly sandwich for lunch, right? Then you're gonna say, well, what about my snack? You could take another protein shake and a sandwich, right? But you're still consuming the same type of snacks, and obviously protein shake, you should always have a lot of that on hand anyways, because you got a big bottle and you could keep making protein shakes. All right, now we're gonna get into what I put in my protein shake specifically, because that's important as well, because everybody likes to have protein shake, but not everybody makes the protein shake the same way. So I'm gonna tell you how I do it, all right? Before we get to the protein shake, after my dinner, right, 30 minutes before I go to sleep, this is like a little secret of mine, right? And I say a little secret because I take Greek yogurt with a tablespoon of honey. And the reason why I do that is because for whatever reason, let's say, I don't know, I forgot and I didn't take any avocados, which is a healthy fat, right? Greek yogurt is a healthy fat. Not only that, Greek yogurt contains casein, which is a slow digesting protein. And if I eat that as I'm going to sleep, it's slow releasing. So in other words, it doesn't digest right away. It digests very slowly. So you have a consistent amount of protein that's being supplied to your muscles as you sleep. right? So you're not gonna be feeling hungry and starving in the middle of the night, getting up and not being able to sleep throughout the night because you're hungry. That's my little, I guess, little trick, right? So I encourage you, if you can, try to eat, I would say 1/3 cup or half a cup at the most of Greek yogurt and honey before you go to sleep. Okay? Now, what is in my protein shake? In my protein shake, I have 1 teaspoon of creatine, 1 large banana, tablespoon of peanut butter, 1 scoop of whey protein, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of cacao nibs. Now, for those of you who don't know what cacao nibs are, it's basically cacao powder before it's little pieces of the cacao, I guess, seed or fruit that's dried, right? And before it becomes into powder, it's the little pieces of the fruit that's dried, and then it's broken into little nibs, little pieces, right? And people usually use that for baking or whatever. But cacao nibs, I'll get into that in another video, but there's something special about them that I personally love about them. That's why I always put it in my shake, other than the fact that it gives a chocolate flavor, right? Because it's basically chocolate. Okay, and I have 4 ice cubes, 2 cups of almond milk. So I use almond milk because I don't drink, cow's milk all the time. I started drinking it here and there for electrolyte purposes, but for the most part, I don't really drink cow's milk for lactose reasons. But I use almond milk. You can use whatever milk you want to make your protein shake. But these are the ingredients that's in my protein shake. And the reason why I put those ingredients in there, again, because you have the healthy fats, you have carbs, right? Maple syrup, banana, and then of course your protein. So it's almost like a complete meal in itself, and it's full of calories, healthy fats, and it's really gonna boost your gains, right? So I drink that before I go to work out. And then after my workout, when I come back home and I'll get ready to go to work, obviously I have all of this stuff ready to go, right? If you follow this and you eat this every single day, I guarantee you're gonna make those gains, guaranteed, okay? Now, going back to the last thing that I mentioned, eat this every day, but then let's say you get to the 3rd day and you're getting tired. Obviously, I said before, you can switch it up. Start switching up whatever it is that you have already laid out, okay? Worst case scenario, if you can't eat that anymore, then you would have to come up with a second meal that you plan to make probably in the middle of the week, right? But I don't know your schedule. Everybody's schedule is different. For me personally, I don't have time to be sitting there cooking and doing all that stuff in the middle of the week. So for me, on Sunday, which is my day of preparing for the week, I make sure that I have protein shake I make on a daily basis. I make it in the morning, but I eat my breakfast. Obviously, I cook that. I have my peanut butter jelly sandwich and my protein, and I make that every day. And then my meals, my lunch is kind of what I have already pre-made, right? So I cook enough for the whole week. And if you guys want to know what the grocery list is to make big gains, drop in the comments gains, and I'll literally give you my whole shopping list of groceries so that you guys can do that for yourself if you want, okay? So with that said, I'm done talking about what you should eat. Let me know what you guys think. Put in the comments what you guys eat, if it's working for you. So anybody that sees this video, we can share and learn from each other. But like I said, for me, I don't count the calories for these things. I just make sure I consistently eat these things on time. And sometimes I may be a little off. I might not eat my protein shake or whatever. But when I get home, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drink my protein shake. Sometimes I might forget to eat my sandwich. The point is, the closer you stick to every single meal that you're supposed to eat consistently, the closer you stick to it, you're gonna get better gains, right? Obviously, if you start skipping meals, not eating, well, we all know that's not gonna work, right? So I encourage you guys, make those gains. The gains happen from eating. And this is one example. I'll have some more, but this is literally what I eat on a day-to-day. All right, guys? Peace.